and I am Coach Siva. I do training for women over 50 who are active professionals with pain. I get them out of their pain zone through an integrated work combination of workouts and nutrition and yoga therapy. And they enjoy life, they get out of pain, and that's my goal, is that women over 50, we should be enjoying life. And the more earlier we can do that, faster to enjoying life we can get, the faster we'll all be happy and be productive and be resourceful in the world. So I'm glad to be here talking to
Cheryl Jones, and I'm so happy to be here with you, Dr. Hema, to join you. We're on the same path. I have Joy Magazine for women for 50 plus. And yes, maybe this is a different type of a pain that I'm trying to move women out of, moving women out of where they are into their best life, really being mindful about that, and giving them good content about their everyday life. That's what Joy Magazine is all about.
For sure. I feel that joy in anything is really the key for people to be productive. You cannot be productive if you don't have joy. And certainly your magazine talks the talk, because this is the one thing that we're missing. In fact, if you're pain-free and still haven't found the joy, you're still a little bit on the behind of the curve that you could be a little more productive. So you need this combination of Cheryl's joy and my ability to get people away from pain. I know a lot of my clients just wake up with limitations and they can't do this or that. And so that's where we're coming from. But once they get there, they still need to find the joy. So really glad to discover a little bit about this magazine and this resource. So how did Joy Magazine come about?
Sure, Dr. Hema. I think it was out of a little bit of pain for myself. But here's what happened. When I was in my midlife, I was experiencing like the biological changes, physical changes, and probably emotional changes as well, being in a professional career, woman and mother and wife. And, you kind of suppress a lot of feelings that you might have.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on in our life when we are in our 45s and moving into 50 and such. And so I was very fortunate, though, because I was involved in a lot of women's business networking groups. So I had a support system. I was involved in women ministry. I even led women ministry groups. So that was very supportive for me at an important time in my life.
Yeah.
But I was reading. I did a lot of reading, and as I started reading about find your joy, live your best life, in your second stage of life. And I was trying to digest that. And I think Joy Magazine came out of a need for myself, but the result came into wanting to help other women. Wanting to help other women to live their best life allows me to write and research and bring wonderful women together as a forum, as a network through Joy Magazine. And it was birthed. It was birthed just like that.
That was amazing. I mean, when you're speaking to the actual thing, and when I talked about being pain-free and finding joy, but the one element you hit on, which is quintessential, is connection. Women, we are social beings. We work really well when we're connected, and in fact, the strength comes from connecting with the same frequency-minded women. And if we're all trying to find that one, equation that will get us to be more productive in our day and just be the best we can be and service our world better, then I think you've really hit it, because a community has to exist, and your magazine certainly addresses that, which is, quite amazing. So let's talk about this. You hit on that demographic of, the unique issues with women over 50. I'm certainly an expert on it because I've been training women in that category for a while. We're 15 years now in business. So really happy to understand that, this is a well served demographic by your product, your magazine. let us know what it is that the magazine can do for that demographic. How does it serve that group of people?
You know, middle life, women in their midlife are experiencing, whether they're well educated in professional jobs,
Mhm.
and they may be overwhelmed. And you know what? We start to relax and sit back and look at television, and we see the celebrities' lives. And
Yeah.
then we pick up magazines on the counters in the stores. We start buying those magazines, and we see the celebrity homes, and we see the perfect lives and everything. We don't see our daily lives enough, right? We don't see women winning in
Mhm.
our daily lives.
Mhm.
And so Joy does that. Joy talks about everyday topics, whether it's DIY projects at home,
Mhm.
environmentally safe products.
Mhm.
We share brands of products that we feel good about,
Mhm.
that we know are either women supported program
Yep.
products
Yep.
or products produced by women. So this is an opportunity in Joy Magazine that women have a voice, you know, and they have a voice to encourage one another. Like you, Dr. Hema, we do a lot of fitness talking
Oh yeah.
and sharing in the magazine in short articles. And it's not so we can look good for someone else, but it's so we can feel good. And then we'll have that joy that you're saying. But
Absolutely.
we walk around carrying a lot of pain in our bodies from stress, and we
Wow.
don't know how to get rid of it.
Totally true. I know you're speaking, the very thing that people need to hear, because you're the one in front of all the zeros. And if you're serving a world, and they really will be impacted by your sense of being whole and satisfied with yourself. If you have a family, if you have a job, people that you service in your job, in your business, people that you service, outside in the community, women are really community minded. As I said earlier, and we tend to go out in the community. We do a lot of volunteer work, almost not because we think, oh, I'm going to do volunteer, but it's almost a reaction from our heartfelt, kind of a female centric mindset that we have of caring. And so, someone's in trouble, it's almost like, oh, we get up automatically, even without planning a priority. We just say, okay, what can I do? And we get up on our feet, we think on our feet, we think fast. But if we haven't spent the time in the morning to do any regular self-care, like you talked about, and fed our soul into being the full potential that it can discover and create that joy from that self-nurturing sequence. So you really address the right topic for that audience. Pretty
So,
amazing.
I realized when I turned 60, as I slid into 60, I started saying, we don't get a do-over. This is it, right? You got to make it work. And
True.
so many of us, when we are aging, we start to think about, well, we got to do what's expected of us, right?
Mhm,
We
mhm.
got to act our age. I don't think so. We have to live our best life. And that's what the theme of Joy Magazine is. And that's what I try to bring out, whether it's through relationships, whether it's through cooking, whether it's through health articles. And
Mhm.
I look for women writers and authors that are interested in bringing that kind of content out and
Oh,
sharing
sure.
that.
Yeah,
That's why I'm really glad that we were able to connect, Dr. Hema, because um,
absolutely.
you have such a wealth of information about fitting life and joy
Yeah,
painlessly, getting rid of that pain so we can
that's right.
have a best life.
That's right. And now with the pandemic, we're all acutely aware of mental pain and physical pain. And sometimes the physical pain is caused by mental pain. We're discovering that through this 1 year in the pandemic. So you're really speaking, really wise words here, because if people don't address these issues, and get together. So we've addressed many things that through your magazine and through your content and through my programs, we've been able to establish some similar base items for the average person in this average woman in this demographic, 50 and up, need to have. And if they don't have them, you run the risk of underservicing your world, because you're not you're at your full potential. If you don't take care of yourself, you have to put that oxygen mask on yourself before you assist other people. Otherwise, there is that risk of sliding. If you don't have community, I mean, a lot of people have some community because, we all have friends, but sometimes it's nice to go sideways into a whole network of women in that same group, because your current network may not address some issues. They may remain unaddressed and you might be suffering in silence. Whereas if you hit upon the hundreds of other women through your magazine and through connection with them in this community minded magazine or content, then maybe some of those doubts that you have about your issues will be full blown as, hey, I got a solution for that. And you flip open the page and you go, hey, man, I see myself in this. And there's this other, wonderful ladies who are addressing it. So this is one of the benefits I can see of this community minded writing, web services, magazine services, online training. You need them all because you have to attack the social culture from different directions. And I know women are very socially minded, so I can see that before having had these services, women would suffer in silence. But after having now, how often is your magazine? I mean, that's another thing we should talk about.
So this magazine is published 5 times a year, so it's seasonally. So we had our January, February issue. We just released our April, May issue.
Yeah.
What's coming up is July.
Okay.
And then we go into our fall, which is October.
Yeah.
And then we go into a holiday issue.
Okay.
So we fill it, we pack it. It's a smaller magazine, but it's packed. It's packed with it's packed with relationship information. It's articles, fitness, and recipes. I've had women under 40 helping me with the magazine, and they were, what's coming out in the new recipes, and they're always health focused.
Yes, and we're all about that. And I think that I like the size. I just received my copy. Thank you very much. And I love it. I love it in the fact there's a couple of things I immediately felt. One was the size is perfect because we all have purses and we're going to go to the park to read. Even in the pandemic, we try to get outside and get some fresh air. We can put it in our purse, take it out, and there you have it. You can read in the the outside. It's not large. It doesn't take up a lot of room. So that's nice. It's nice and compact. And it does have a lot of punch into it, a lot of information. It's very good looking in terms of resources and everything you might want to have to make your life as complete as possible. So I'm really happy to have this conversation. This magazine is amazing. I would think that would be a very useful tool. Are there any other points that you would like to bring out so that people in this kind of community can get more resources? That would be helpful.
Well, before I go to giving a little bit background information on how to get the magazine, I wanted to ask you, Dr. Hema, what type of health information can I add to the magazine from your background?
Okay, very excellent question. I know there's a lot of frequently asked questions in my business, and one of them is, what should I eat, to be healthy? And the short answer is it depends. And I know people really dislike that, but the answer is, the typical question is, can I eat this, and fill in your favorite, item? And the answer is usually yes, because there's no health and weight guidelines concerning food per se. It is the integrated average of what you do from the time you get up to the time you go to bed. And so that's why, happiness is very important. So I have clients saying, I love, fill in your blank, like whatever the item is. And I say, be my guest. And this is one of the things I would love to stress for this demographic is, do not deprive yourself of anything. Anything. Like if there's some item on and you hear say, this is good, this is bad, you shouldn't eat this. Don't listen to it. Think about your own happiness and think about your own health. independent of all the signals you're getting. Think of it as white noise. So if there's one message, that we could make clear, and of course, we can go into the details of, how to put together a good eating plan, or do very quick workouts so you don't spend, hours in doing your workouts and miss out on life, because that would be pointless. I mean, everything has to be in perspective, right? I mean, you do something so you can live life. It's not the other way around. You don't live to do a workout. You don't live to eat salad. You eat salad so you're healthy. You do a workout so you're healthy, so that your kids won't say, oh, mom can't do this because she's not feeling up to, she's not energetic today. You never want to hear that. You just want to go forward.
That's why it's live your best life, because what's good for you, live life and love life. That's right. I like that.
Yeah. So that, in a nutshell, that would be something I would address is, what's the best way to put together an integrated, very simple, and, keeping it simple. If it's complicated, word of the day, if it's complicated, check it out, because fitness is not complicated. Fitness is extremely easy. It's just that the outside world likes to make it complicated. There's people trying to sell you a book. There's people trying to sell you things, and you just have to get the white. It's like Christmas, because at Christmas time, we know what's really Christmas and what's marketing, or what's just white noise. And we're really good at that because we're all, faith-based, or we're all very, intelligent women. So we know how to filter we've become used to filtering out, if there's a toy on the TV, okay, you have to tell your child, this is not Christmas. This is a marketing agency that is trying to tell you that you need this. This is not about Christmas. This is about a toy that people could buy, but it has no direct relationship to the holiday. So those are the kinds of messages. I say that because Christmas is the most time when people have opposing messages coming at them from everywhere for business reasons. And that's the time when we're so much used to that sentiment of saying, hey, this has nothing to do with my spirit. I mean, that is not it, or buying this or buying that is not it. So that, we have to do the same kind of mindset with fitness. We have to say, what's really important? Me and my happiness. If I'm sitting here being happy and, I've had a really good, healthy day with whatever activities I've been doing, whatever I've been eating, whatever I've been practicing stress reduction, then I count myself as healthy and happy and able to serve my world.
Very good. That's
Yeah.
what this is, May is National Nutrition Month.
Yes.
And Joy Magazine is taking the standpoint of nutrition is also nutrition for your mind, nutrition for your body, nutritional for your spirit.
Yes.
And so we're setting up some wellness series that will be Zoom related like this. And women can come together with you. Dr. Hema will be there, and a few other accomplished women to talk about ideas and tips about wellness for our minds and wellness for our bodies and wellness and how we take in nutrients and what we do to affect each of those areas so we can have our best life,
Absolutely. That
So
sounds
we're looking forward to that. That's on Wednesdays as of May 12th.
good. Okay.
May 12th, May 19th, and May 26th at 7 p.m. It's going to be on a Zoom, and it's available to get that information at the website for Joy Magazine.
And we'll put that link in with this video. You can look in the description and get that link in.
Yeah, and and the website for Joy Magazine is thejoymagazine.com.
Great.
So we're going to be really excited to hear more from Dr. Hema. I know I am.
Thank you.
And I wanted to ask you, so you do, I know you're going to speak to us in a Zoom group, but you also do one-on-one counseling. Is that correct?
I do. So online coaching, I've always been a very new, my business when I started it out, it's funny, I started it out 15 years ago with the one thought that I was a recipient of extremely bad trainers, extremely, when I say bad in quotation marks, I'm sure they're wonderfully educated. It's just that they did not provide the product that I felt my background, me and several others, when I say we in in kind of a plural, because I don't think that the industry had evolved to the point where trainers were empathetic with a regular person with a regular life. The industry was just not there. So when I started my business 15 years ago, I decided I'm going to start a very human, woman friendly business where I am empathetic to your circumstance, your life, and I will fit the instruction I give around your day so that you could be a healthier version of yourself. And I'm not trying to be, you're not trying to be Jane Fonda, you're not trying to be Arnold, you're not trying to be any of those people you see on the, you know, on the entertainment platform for fitness in the world of fitness, but you want to incorporate a fitness mindset so that you can make the intelligent decisions. So I thought empowering women with really practical information. So I started my business with, you know, to answer your question directly, online coaching, because I felt the one-on-one is what you need. You get drowned out in a group and their voices are not heard. So I really wanted to do one-on-one. So I started it out doing one-on-one mobile training. I'd go to the woman's house and, you know, when she had her off time, nobody home, we would do workouts, we would do nutrition counseling, coaching, and stress reduction, because I found stress to be the number one factor in their health and fitness. So I would address, you know, a stress program. I would, you know, take them through a very practical. So I guess practical would be my buzzword for my business, trying to make it so that they could do 5 minutes and that would be good enough to get them through the day. It's like rocket fuel, you know, that initial boost. So I'd give them a really short thing to do, a little practice for themselves, for their mind, body. They would go, they would be good. And they could always have access to me. That was another thing, accountability, and just being a bonded, you know, bonding with the client, trying to be their friend on top of being a business as their trainer. There's no problem with doing that. That's a model that a lot of people didn't have at that time. Now I think it's more popular to say, you know, you've got that friendship going on in your business. But at the time I started 15 years ago, that was a new model. So that's how I started. Now with the pandemic, of course, I just switched everything to online because I've seen these women before. So they understood, they still wanted me in their day. So we set up, you know, virtual sessions. So we do the workouts. I also text and communicate with them, mostly actually through text, because sometimes they have a hard day or a hard, you know, event that comes up and they'll say, you know, I have pain here or whatever the point is. And since they've worked with me, I can easily say, well, if you do these couple of moves right away now, you can, you know, attend your daughter's whatever, or your, you know, your family's whatever event they're having. So I think that's the approach I took in my business. So now I address mental and physical health online. I do have an online Zoom sessions with all my clients, one-on-one. So that's how we solve the problems.
Well, we're in this environment now where that's where we're at. We're on Zoom, we're on the virtual.
Exactly.
And women are ready for it, I think, you
Yeah.
know. And if they're not, gradually they're coming on because they're seeing how valuable it is. We can
Yes.
pop on for 10 minutes and get a boost of
Oh,
what we need from another
totally.
woman. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is an amazing thing. And I think, you know, community coming together is very important. So yeah, well, that was fabulous. I got to know a little bit about, you know, your world with your magazine, and I think, you know, people understood a little bit about my training program. So let's wrap up. What final thoughts do you want to leave us with today, Cheryl?
Oh, just want all the women out there that are watching to be joyful, to find a way to go inside and be joyful. And you know what the dictionary says? The definition of joy is a sense of well being. So that's
Mhm.
important for each individual. What is your sense of well being? And Joy Magazine is www.thejoymagazine.com. We're on Facebook, The Joy Magazine,
Okay.
and we look for hearing more from women. We like you to read, but also it's a two-way conversation. Communicate. Let's keep that networking,
Yes.
those channels open when you do
Mhm.
pick up a copy of Joy Magazine.
Well, excellent. Well, I'm really happy to have that information. I'm sure everyone in that group or otherwise will love to have. We all need a little joy in our life. And as I said, fitness starts with joy. So stay tuned for more from Cheryl, the Joy Magazine, and me, Shanti Fitness. So we'll catch you next time on the next video.